Yesterday, we hosted a big event in Modern Warfare Zombies, and shout out to T.A.G 935 and the T.A.G 935 Army. We hosted lobbies where we got all our friends into the same server, and everyone you see on that bike right there is everyone that we are friends with, and this is the entire lobby. Our goal was to go in and fight the Red Worm with the entire lobby, and the servers can hold 24 people, so we were trying to get as many friends in as we could and then go fight the Red Worm and try to do some kind of world record. We were able to do it and we were successful, and we fought the Red Worm 3 times, and I'll show you guys what those boss fights look like with a massive group of people going after that worm. I'll go over the basics of the strategy that was used to get everyone into the same lobby. Again, we did 3 boss fights and I'll show you guys all of those, but here's the footage of the first one that we did. We tried different weapons and different strategies in each of the boss fights. The first one we just did regular weapons like LMGs, SMGs, whatever. The second one we did glitched out Wonder Wafts that were like quad papped. That was interesting. And then for the third and final fight, everybody brought in a Tonfa to melee the worm to see how that would work, because the Tonfa is so strong against the elite bosses. I'll show you guys how all that went down, and I think one of those fights was probably a world record time. This first fight here was in the tier 1 area, and if you look at the mini-map, there is no one else on this map because everybody is here at this boss fight, and we are all standing in a circle around the spawn point of this worm waiting for it to start. So now I'll give you guys an overview of how we got the full lobby to be only people we knew. Shout out to T.A.G and BBK, this is their strategy they use, and they wanted to try it with a large amount of people and see if it would work, and it did. T.A.G had everything organized on his Discord server with the people that were going to be joining in. He had multiple captains that would host lobbies with 3 people and then be waiting to join in when the time was right. So we had 11 captains, and with the players they had in their lobbies, it gave us 33 people total, and that allowed us to try to have more than enough people to get into one server. These captains that were hosting needed to be in certain areas of the globe as to minimize the number of servers that they were able to join. Like, some regions don't have a lot of servers, and that's what we were looking for. For example, if you were in the US, you couldn't host because there are way too many servers that are available. After we got all the captains online, all the players in their lobbies, everyone would be on the start match button and be coordinating with hitting the button at the same time. Once the match started, we could see who all was in the lobby, and if it wasn't our people, then we all backed out. Of course, all this communication is going down on a voice Discord server, and this took many attempts. I'll have to say the patience of the T.A.G Army is incredible. They did an amazing job working together and making this happen. I think that was the most impressive part to me, so shout out to everyone that helped. And of course, shout out to T.A.G. He was at the head of command on all this, and the energy and patience that took was phenomenal. It took almost 3 hours to get into the first match with everyone, and that was hours of joining, checking the lobby, and then backing out and doing it over and over again. And this method is so easy to do if you're trying to join like 1 or 2 friends, but we wanted the full lobby, and a lot of the times we would join in and half the lobby would be full, but we needed the whole thing, so that's why it took so long. The strategy every time when we got into game was everyone go get your tombstone if you have one, then immediately go meet in C1. There's a building there that has pictures of where all the USB locations are. At this building, we would have everybody join up to have 6-member teams, and then we'd make sure everybody had money and gear, and then we would send everybody out to grab USBs and perks or whatever they needed. Then we'd all just head to the boss fight area and wait for it to start. There were a couple of rules for this to make sure that we didn't crash the lobby, and that was do not put down any sentry turrets, no kill streaks, don't bring in a lot of dogs, we don't want to lag the server. This boss fight here was laggy. The frame rate was super slow. I don't think you can really see it here, but yeah, when you were in the game, it was sketchy. This was really cool looking to see all these bullets flying at this worm, and you can see right here, yeah, it's starting to lag. That frame rate is slowing down. We were getting a little bit worried at this point, like, oh my god, are we gonna get through this or is it gonna crash? And I'm shooting with a Ram 7, and I think some people had like LMGs, but yeah, we were all just using regular weapons. And as you would guess, yes, this boss fight was really easy. The zombies, the elites, nothing messed with us. I think there was a mega bomb running around, like, it was so confused, it didn't know who to go after. This was so easy that no one got downed. I think a couple of people got eaten. I know I was one of them, but as long as you pull out your chute, you're fine. But this worm was killed so fast it didn't have a chance to attack us. This fight here took us about 2.5 minutes to kill it, which isn't too bad. You could definitely tell that the health was maxed out on this thing. I was thinking we would walk in here and just melt this thing, having a full lobby, but no, it seems like they do turn the health up on this thing based on whoever's fighting or like whoever's in the vicinity. I'm not sure how they gauge that. I had bought this thing on solo and I feel like I was doing more damage to it on solo than our full lobby right here. This match here had 18 people. We had 3 teams of 6, and I don't know if that affects it in some way. The game must have thought, wow, y'all have a lot of people, so we're gonna turn this health up. Right here we do kill it, and the cool thing about us doing this massive lobby is that there are a ton of rewards. So everyone was helping to drop any of the schematics or whatever to help other people that didn't have them. The next fight was in tier 2. It was in the football field, and this one surprised me. Here's the footage here, and once again we're all standing in a very organized circle, and this time everybody's like evenly spaced out. Like, I was really impressed with this one, and it looks really cool from the mini map. We're starting to get really good at this point, but once again we are the only ones on the map. This is a full lobby boss fight. For this one, I think 4 of us brought in the glitched out Wonder Wasps, which means they're like quad path. They're doing like double the damage, and then the rest of the players just had regular weapons. I was thinking just 4 players with the Wonder Wasp glitched out, it's not going to make that big of an impact, but it absolutely did. I mean, look at that health bar. This thing barely got into the map and we are wrecking it, and we have the same number of players. We have 18, and also we're in a tier 2. We're supposed to be in a more difficult area. With it taking longer than I thought for the first fight, I was thinking this wasn't gonna do much either, but it really did. This fight was about a minute long, and we definitely could have killed it even faster if it hadn't burrowed and gone underground. Last week I had made a video about how to quad pap this Wonder Wasp, and I was saying this has got to be the best weapon in the game. It's so powerful, and yeah, it clearly is. In just a second you're going to see that health bar really start to move, and you'll see some red electric streams right there. Those are the Wonder Wasps hitting that worm. We're about to go back in and try this boss fight again with a full lobby and get as many glitched out Wonder Wasps as we can. This is going to be live streamed again on T.A.G.935's channel, and I'll make an announcement here on my channel letting you guys know in advance when that live stream is going to start. But yeah, right here, about a minute, this worm was done. The third fight we did, here's the footage here, we had 20 people, and this was again a full lobby, and this time we had as many players that could bring in a tonfa as possible, and I think we had 16 out of 20 people. This is the footage from the live stream here, and T.A.G has got us all lined up, and he's counting everybody that's got a tonfa. We were super organized. I was very impressed. And this was my crazy idea and something I was wanting to test out, because the tonfa is so incredibly powerful against all the elites, and including the megas. Like, this thing shreds everything. It's like a 3 or 4 hit on the Stormcaller. I've brought this tonfa into the Red Worm boss fight on multiple occasions when I was with like a team of 3, and anytime I hit that worm with that tonfa, it would take out a huge chunk of its health. And on solo, I used the tonfa and I got the health down to half on the worm in 1 minute. It was shredding this thing. So in theory and on paper, it looked good that a full lobby of players with a tonfa would absolutely beat the shit out of this worm, but that was not the case. I was very surprised and disappointed. I thought we were gonna go in and probably have like a really good time, maybe kill this thing in 30 seconds or something, but this was actually our worst run. It took us about 5 minutes to kill this thing, and that was a very long time to be meleeing something. It felt like forever. But no doubt, this is definitely some kind of world's first. Like, 20-player full lobby, we all know each other and are friends, and we're gonna melee this worm to death. Like, that's definitely never been done. I was worried that we were not gonna beat this timer, but we did. It just, the melee made it feel like it was going on forever, but we had plenty of time to spare. And still 5 minutes is not bad for this boss fight. Like, that's actually pretty standard. But yeah, they cranked the health up because normally that tonfa just melts, and I was gonna make a video showing like, yeah, the tonfa will just absolutely take chunks of health out of this worm, and I thought this was gonna be the video to really showcase that, but it's not. That sucks. But yeah, we are not done with this. We still have more stuff we want to try, times we want to beat. We do want to try to get a 24-player match. So far we've gotten a 20, which is amazing. Keep an eye on those announcements because we are excited to get back in there and do this, and I will keep you guys updated. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This was absolutely incredible, and we'll see you guys next video.